That's a lot of faith.
Yep.
I mean, they'll at least catch like the last half of what we're talking about, and like that's all they need to know.
Almost
Okay.
like they'll be like, "Hey, that's nonsensical."
Right.
Hey, we're live with nonsense.
Uh-oh.
Oh, good.
So I need some nonsense from somebody for exactly 3.2 minutes.
Oh,
Casey,
No,
go.
I didn't even hear what you said.
perfect.
Casey, tell us how you feel about geese.
Geese? Well, you know, everybody knows. Geese are assholes. Geese are the
Yeah,
worst.
it's not really.
I feel like that's something that we need to stand up about. They are not nice creatures. They're mean.
All right, so
Okay.
geese or orcs?
Oh
Basically.
gosh, I'd go against orcs instead of geese, because at least geese can fly and chase after you that way too. Orcs have not yet mastered that.
Okay, it has been a couple weeks since we did OrcaCon. Thanks for everyone who was at OrcaCon.
Oh, yeah.
And so just to recap what happened last session, you went to Moria. Gundar got into a drinking contest. He won.
Yeah, dude.
Thus, you got free passage through Moria as long as you destroyed the dark evil thing at the West Gate. Preempting some worries the Lord of the Rings Fellowship has thousands of years in the future, you took out the Watcher in the Water, and then headed off to Rivendell after killing some orcs and avoiding some dark places kind of thing. That sounds like last session. Anyone got anything else exciting they want us to remember?
We killed a giant
Squid thing.
monster that was hiding in the water. We drained the lake.
We did. We drained a lake. We destroyed some eggs.
It was like shooting fish in a barrel.
I mean, to some people it was.
I mean, squid in the bottom of a riverbed.
That was draining and it left it to go nowhere. I mean,
Yeah.
the best kind of
Really, we probably should have started with that.
But Nesriel was able to finally shoot something and kill the squid.
No, it was already dead.
Yep,
But I helped.
we're going with it. Too late.
No, you totally got it.
No, you got it.
A hero does not take credit for accomplishments she did not legitimately achieve. I helped you find the dam, but I did not actually kill the thing.
You did
Oh,
do it. You did.
Look,
I
you
saw
guys, look at her humility. It's so heroic.
Kitty. Look at her ability.
And that is why. I mean, either way, you're going to come off heroic, and that's you either come off it with your humility, your humanness. That's right.
Humanility? Is that a word?
Humanility.
Humanility.
Hey, who needs a headband when you have humanility?
That sounds like an insult to an elf.
Okay. Well, while you were on your journey, some stuff happened around the world. For instance, for those of you who care about Arthedain, as there might be one of you on there, it appears that the armies of Agbar are on the move, headed to the south. The rumors from afar, with something that looks like a wraith or Nazgul that's not the Witch King at its head. So that's going to be exciting. There is a party in the Shire, but that's not really news. That's just Wednesday. The North has started to get some good trade going. Thranduil might be a little bit concerned of all the dwarven trade going near his territory, as the two dwarven kingdoms have ramped it up with some help from the Northmen. Here, there's even rumor that things are heading south, and things gone black briefly. That's the specific color is cat black. Okay.
Where did your cat go?
There we go.
And still no word from the King of Gondor, so that's going to be a problem eventually.
I mean, that's becoming a problem now.
What? A missing king? How could that ever become a problem?
I mean, it's just a setup for another story, right? And we'll get to that story at some point.
Well, how kind of that king to do that for us. What a guy.
Okay. With that being said, the party is arriving in Rivendell, at least, or they think they are. I don't know if you guys noticed, Rivendell's actually hard to find.
That's good.
The good news for you is that you have both an elf and a character that's above 4th level in the party. So the guide should make a Find Rivendell roll. It's only target number 15 because of those 2 things I mentioned ahead of time.
Who's the guide? Am I the guide?
It was you or Gundyr.
Yeah, I think it was
Whoever
you.
it is,
I think you,
Okay,
at this
because
point,
you
'cause we're on the
used-
west side.
Yeah.
That's right.
It's your territory.
roll with
Okay.
advantage. I help.
Woo.
I mean, it's survival, so your odds should be really good.
Yes. So that was 11 plus 6. 27.
No problems finding Rivendell.
There it is.
You follow the white stone path down into the valley, and there is not a tra-la-la-la-la down in the valley here, unfortunately,
Oh, thank God.
I love that poem.
because this isn't the animated version of this story. You guys are actually in the live-action version, just so you know.
Thank God.
Much darker, much grittier.
Yeah, there's going to be some dark and grit later. Not that, Kellyanne talking about murdering people isn't already dark and grit and all that.
I was gonna
but-
say.
Who hasn't done a little murder?
Oh boy.
A
These
lot
are
of
just
people.
guards.
Would you
It'll be
believe
fine.
I once was kind of like a bard and I knew how to speak to people?
Mhm.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
I can't believe it either.
That's great. Did
All
you
right,
find our way to? Did we find? Where are we going? Elrond? What's his face? Rivendell. There we
Oh
go.
boy.
No, following Kellyanne's lead and both approved by Nestril, who knows elf things, you have traveled down into the valley, and you can see the last homely house west of the mountains, still there below you. It is getting on evening because it's always that way when you arrive at Rivendell, and the lights are in the windows, and the smell of, and you can hear this. You can hear the smell. No.
Here's the smell.
The smell.
I think that's an elf thing. They hear smells. Is that one of their abilities? I forget.
Oh, yeah.
I think they have
100%.
synesthesia.
I have it right here on my character sheet.
All of them.
Wow.
Yeah, the smell is up to 30 feet.
You can smell the smells of fires in the hearth and food cooking as you come down upon there, and a small group of elves come to greet you.
Hey, you guys, is this for sharing? Because I'm hungry.
Hello, travelers. What brings you to the last homely house?
We have come from many different places to follow up on an artifact that we discovered was here, as well as to seek the advice of Elrond Half-Elven.
Before I can respond, you must make an arrival check.
Oh boy.
So that's the D8 plus 1. That is rolled by, I think, the guide as well.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the guy does it.
Oh, Christina.
Oh no, guys.
Dude, I believe in you.
Why?
It'll be okay.
Why did you?
So you add +1, right?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay, there's no advantage or anything to it.
No.
Did you do it?
Was it a 2?
I got a 2, guys.
That's what I thought.
Is that a combined 2 or?
No, like a combined 2. I rolled a 1.
Christina!
Oh, well, I can see. Auspicious beginnings to your arrival in this sanctuary.
Do they just drop bows on us and start shooting?
No, I just probably said hello in the wrong way. And
You?
awkwardly. Yeah. We're
Okay.
not murdering folk here.
We got names to drop. We'll be all right.
Got names to drop.
Well, that
Good
last
at that.
that last part, wandering through the hills looking for Rivendell, you guys didn't quite do a good job on the food management. So you arrive in Rivendell with empty bellies. Willid was already there, but hobbit bellies. The difference between full and empty is difficult.
Mhm.
No, that's not difficult. They're the same thing.
Yeah,
Just
but
straight
you're
on difficult.
fast here, and I
Not
don't,
hard to understand.
I don't know how that's possible. You eat more than I do.
I don't know how it's possible you eat less than I do.
That's what I'm
Very
saying.
I don't
impressive.
understand.
No,
how
Willid
you
makes
can
a
do
very
the things
valid
you do
point.
with such small amounts of food.
Anyways, the lack of food means that you all arrived with a level of exhaustion
Oh, perfect.
that will probably go away as soon as you get a chance to rest in this, the place that's best at getting rid of exhaustion in Middle Earth. But for at least until you get rest, you're in exhaustion, which means some disadvantage on a few things.
Yep,
I recall.
yep, it does.
This is great.
So that's fun and exciting. But the elves
Word for it.
can see your hungered state and desire for talk with Elrond, and
Oh right.
they even turn to Gundyr and say, "We have had word that you would be coming. Please come."
Yay!
Whew.
Who
You and
told
your
you?
connections.
Yeah, Gundyr has high contacts rating. Yeah, contacts. That's part of his background. Actually knows everybody.
Yeah, I know everybody.
It's weird for a guy who lives in the middle of the woods.
Yeah, I know the birds and some eagles and a squirrel and
I mean, between you and Nestriel,
a couple of bears.
Is there anybody we don't know? Come on, guys.
Yeah.
This is just gonna be great. I can tell.
Why you always got to be a downer?
I'm not. I'm not
Give me
being a
a
downer. I'm
smile.
just.
Give me a smile.
I
Oh,
glare at him and I clench my fist.
That's close enough.
So about this food.
I'm gonna behead him one day.
Okay. Where am I? Well, you head down into the valley. You head down into the valley and into the house of Elrond. You are, in fact, led to Elrond at first for an introduction. And
Oh boy.
that's who's doing the talking now?
Haha.
If nobody does it, I will. I swear to God.
No, Nestor.
I'll start
Nestor.
talking.
No.
May I be pleased to introduce these 4 heroes, one and all, who have just recently slayed a foul beast on the western gate of Moria, thereby allowing the king to open up trade to the west. And then I step back. That's it. Oh no, I'll say Gundyr. Gundyr, who's your dad?
What? I don't have one. I mean,
Gundyr, son of no one. Nestriel, the elf.
Thank you,
Look at you.
Willid. I am Nestriel Sealorthand, the last of the House of Elrond and ward of Mirkwood. I'm very happy to be visiting you again.
I should memorize that.
It's a very long title.
I should memorize that.
Good at memorizing stuff, though. Then we have Elrond, son of who's your dad?
Just call me a horse lord.
Horse Lord, son of Horse Lord, and Kellyan.
I glare at him.
Just Kellyan.
Just kill him.
And then
Okay.
I bow, and I step back.
Well, you are all welcome to Rivendell, for this is the place where such councils and rest should happen. And I feel that the tides of Middle-earth have overtaken the six of you. Glirio's here too. And that it is best that we take a moment to look at all of the forces that might be influencing things and see where it might lead.
I agree. That
Uh,
would be incredibly helpful.
you look tired.
And hungry.
I believe, yeah, hungry is more prevalent right now,
Can't sleep on an empty stomach.
I mean,
especially him.
you can, but
I can't.
Willid can't. He groans and complains in his sleep, and,
Maybe you
he
can.
holds his belly, crying like a babe.
That's why none of us could sleep.
That only happened
Yeah.
one time.
Twice.
Don't know that
this
Lord Elrond needs the details of our sleeping habits, but I do appreciate the offer of food and rest.
Yes, thank you.
said you don't know. You didn't ask him.
Come dear. Please. I just really want to sleep.
Well, as I said, then I will offer you my hospitality for the moment, and after you have rested and eaten tonight, tomorrow morning we will talk about what has brought you here and what darkness is afoot in the land.
Thank you, Lord Elrond.
He then does his stare at you. You got that from Galadriel too, right? Where she each kind of looked at each of you in turn, and then moved on to the next one as if he's searching your soul, kind of thing.
Mm-hmm.
And we didn't actually do a traditions roll. Willid, you're rolling traditions.
Ooh, traditions. Ready? Go.
For your introductions.
I rolled a 2-digit number. That 14. I get a 14.
Oh.
Does he need a higher roll?
I think I did good for a. I think their expectations of me were very low.
Much like your stature.
I think I exceeded their expectations.
Mm-hmm.
My parents told me about coming to Rivendell. They told me about introductions and stuff. So I kind of knew how to do that. Sort of.
That's impressive, Willid.
Well, that's good news
Thanks.
for everybody. And you are led off to the Great Hall, where there are many elves feasting. It looks like one of those kind of constant feast things where everyone is there, and then sometimes people are leaving, some people are showing up. There's a bunch. They look almost exclusively like elves here. There is one kind of dark-cloaked human Dunedain-like guy who's probably not Aragorn because he's not born yet. Hanging out in the hall as well.
I'm not hungry, guys. I'm gonna go to my room.
Are you
That
sure?
is a lie.
No.
That seems like you should eat first.
At least grab a plate.
Yeah, at least grab some food before you go back to your room.
I'm sure one of you guys would be kind enough to bring me food to my room.
Well, Kelly,
Heck yeah.
I was actually thinking of heading out to go sleep early as well. Do you mind if I join you?
Yes.
Hey, I'll bring you both. I'll bring you guys both food.
It's okay. I can take the plates, Willid. Thank you.
Okay, now I'll just bring you some more later.
I'll bring you seconds.
Pat him on the head as I go by.
Dinner, supper.
I leave immediately. I'll be waiting for Nestril to catch up at the entrance.
Hey, Willid, what's up with them?
Huh?
What? Why?
Killian's the...
I don't know. Probably some elf thing or...
You'd think Nestril would want to stay and talk. I know she's tired, but still.
Oh, yeah, Nestril wants to stay and talk, but she also cares about Killian, so... Well, I mean, luckily, Killian's not by herself, which is the main thing. Like,
where did they...
leave her in the capable hands of Nestril. In the meantime, we should eat and drink.
Where did they go? Did they just go to their rooms?
If you leave the hall, I mean, if you ask for a room, Kellyanne, you will be led to one.
I'll wait for Nestril.
Otherwise, there are plenty of overlooks over the river, places to meditate and write poetry and write poetry and or meditate. And there's also some places for meditation. And over on the other side, there's some meditation places as well. A few more poetries around. Anyways, you get the picture. So,
Yep.
If you want to find an isolated place to I don't know, brood, you could find one of those.
What are the odds that that's what
Right.
she wants to go do?
My character brooding, no. But I think what I'll keep those places in mind as I pass them, but I'll wait for Nestril.
I will actually come bearing 2 plates of food.
I secretly kind of want Killian to go off and write poems.
I do have a soft side. You just haven't seen it yet.
They would be the most emo poems ever.
Maybe, but they also might be super upbeat.
Or more like Homer-ish sagas. That's what I'm going for, like Iliad.
Emo Homer.
Ode to be a daisy.
Ode to being a daisy. Drenched in blood.
So, I guess we need to actually answer that question, though, Kellyanne. Where are you going?
Just waiting on Nestril, I guess, because she said that she'd be joining me, and I take her for her word.
Sure, she comes with some food that she has gotten and 2 glasses of wine.
Okay.
Though we can have water instead of wine if that's your preference. I haven't had wine of this quality since we left.
You could definitely have mine.
Okay.
I'm not that thirsty at the moment, but thank you.
Would you like to sit at one of the terraces while we eat and then go to bed, or are you more determined?
I don't want to be anywhere near here. For safety reasons. Is there somewhere perhaps more secluded, away from here?
Yes, I know of a very beautiful garden with a very small bridge over a waterfall.
Great, let's go.
Yes, of course. This way.
I kind of keep my hood on a little bit more. So I follow you with the plate in my hand that I haven't obviously touched.
Okay, you do that. We'll get back to you in just a second. In the main hall, the other 3 of you eat food.
Yeah, I'm gonna eat my first serving. I'm gonna grab another something and put it in my mouth, and then immediately start getting a second serving. But I'm gonna get 2 plates, and I'm gonna get ready to go take it to what's their faces?
What's their faces?
Kellyanne and Nestril. Those 2.
Perfect. That's.
I want to sit and talk while eating. That's my plan.
There are multiple elves who are interested in the humans that come by and sit down and briefly scoff at you in some elven manner.
That's great.
Okay, boomer.
I talk to them in very broken and not good Elven.
To be fair, they're actually not just older than you; they're like orders of magnitude older than you.
Yeah, I mean, I get that.
So it's like, okay, big boomer? I don't know, like real boomer? Lots
Okay,
of boom?
immortal.
Okay. Yeah, okay.
Okay, immortal. Yeah.
Like, you don't know my perspective.
You know my struggles every day being immortal, knowing that I'm gonna die within a very small time frame compared to you people.
Yeah, the struggle's real.
You gotta walk around acting like you're better than us all the time. Okay, anyway. I'm happy to have elves around. Elves are great.
Yeah, well, I mean, as long as they keep the wine coming.
They can scoff.
Yeah, there's elves of most and all descriptions in there. Tall, different colors. Oh no, wait, they all pretty much look the same. Sorry, no.
Oh.
You elves, you all look alike.
The man in the cloak does not come over your direction. So then I will. I'm gonna hand it back to Kellyanne and Nestriel for their conversation before Willid shows up with like extra plates.
Well, on that topic, as we go into the area that may or may not have been directly ripped from the movies, don't worry about it. Assuming we pass a guard along the way, or someone that looks like they would have the authority to tell Willid to go away, or anybody else for that matter, as soon as we get into the area and Kellyanne kind of like lets the tension seize, I will ask that they not let anybody interrupt us while we're in here. No matter what happens. And then I'll follow her in.
Yeah.
Okay.
The elves are good at the whole solitude thing, so it appears very quiet, and just as the sun is setting, as you stand there watching the sunset on this incredibly beautiful elven valley, you sit down and watch and listen to the sound of the waterfall.
Well, I take off the hood of my cloak and I sit on a bench and I just kind of like let out a huge sigh as I look at the waterfall.
Go and sit beside you, and all of my body language says I want to ask you what's upsetting you, but I don't say anything. But you can
Just spit it out.
Not that you're not generally a very tense individual, but you seem even more so since we've arrived, and even more so since we went through the banquet hall. Do you want to talk about it?
I can't be with my people. It hurts too much. Or with people whom could be my people, I guess.
The Dunedain in the banquet hall. I thought as much.
Yeah. I mean, it's kind of ridiculous. I don't know who they are, or even I don't know who they are, but still just something seizes me up and I can't face them. Call me a coward, call me what you will, but I can't see them. I can't.
There is no shame in fearing facing someone that you once loved, or fearing facing someone that you don't want to hear negativity out of. It's okay. We all have those people.
Yeah, you just don't have them like as a countryside full of people that, never mind. It doesn't matter.
If it hurts you, Kelly, and it matters, and because it matters to you, it matters to me. We will fix what was done to you. It'll be hard, but we're here for you. I don't know why the curse doesn't affect me like it affects the others, but I will not forget you. And we will make it right.
You say that now, but I have a fear that it's going to get worse. There's no curse that just suddenly stops. It gets worse as it goes. It progresses. Whatever that despicable person did, like, I don't think it's going to go away. And it's completely selfish of me to just focus on my wants and my needs when there's so much more going on in this world.
I believe it to be a test of your character, Kellyanne. A test of your resolve to return the world to good, to fight the shadow. And it's a very difficult test of resolve, as you are a very strong-willed and capable person. The fact that it has etched away at you as it has, and not destroyed you completely after so long.
Do you remember when we first met?
Yes, you were very dismissive.
Not only that, but you saw me at that edge of the river. I had all that metal armor on me that I left behind, and I had full intention to wade into it and forget about everything else. You say I'm strong-willed and strong-minded, but that you found me broken, and I still am. Who I was before, that was a whole different person. What I am now is it's just a shadow of what I was. Half the time, I don't even believe I am who I claim to be anymore.
Kellyanne, you can only ever be who you are. And despite these trials, you are still a good person. You defended Willid. You've protected me multiple times. Without you on this journey, I don't know that we would have made it this far.
You would have fared well. Elrond is an amazing and capable fighter who took on, like, the worst kind of orc you can ever imagine. And then Gundyr just is a beast. You would have done fine without me. I do believe that still now. My contribution is minimal at best.
I disagree. Kellyanne, let me ask you, who among us spoke up for Willid as soon as they tried to arrest him?
Who almost killed Willid as soon as they could.
But only months before. The progress that you've made, the bonds that you've made already with all of us are immeasurable. You are closer to Gundyr than I believe even I am, and I've known him much longer than you have. The effect that you have on people, even with your curse, can be measured in the growth of their courage and their hearts after speaking to you. You know this to be true. I can see it.
Topic change now. How do you like being here?
I will gently rest a hand on your shoulder, if you will allow me, briefly. Being here reminds me of a legacy lost. I know you struggle with your curse, but at least you know it can be handled. I am the last of my house. There are no kin who have blood relations to me that I can call upon as family. And I've built them through you and our friends. But being here reminds me that I am alone.
I hold on to your hand.
Thank you.
You are no more alone than I am.
But you yourself just said that you're alone.
And you said I am not. For that, I do truly believe you. And the same goes for you, if not more so. You have friends. You have made a legacy for yourself. You are by far the most impactful person I've ever met, which is why I choose to follow you. Despite my misgivings on Willid at first, despite everything else, I believe in what you believe. You are charismatic, and you make me think I could be a better person. Without you, I wouldn't be here right now.
Thank you, Kellyanne.
And for what it's worth, I think you're as close to family as I can get.
That's the perfect moment for Willid to kind of come up with the family conversation.
Mission.
There's an elf. There's an elf kind of like right behind
are-
him. Like it looked like he tried maybe just to say something to Willid, but that was as much as he was going to do. And Willid comes in.
Oh, he didn't even stop me. I shared some with him.
I embrace Nesriel in a hug.
And then you can hear my feet
I return it.
slapping against my bare feet slapping up against the nice pavement. You guys, I got your food right here. It's still hot.
Ah, thank you, Willid. That is very thoughtful.
You guys haven't
of you.
even eaten any of your food that you brought here. Well, this is warmer, so you should eat this.
Do you want to join us?
Well, I didn't bring a whole meal for myself, but I brought this snack, and I start like reaching into my pockets and like my coat, and, like just start pulling out. I mean these elven buns. Ugh. Mm.
Elves are known for their masterful bun making.
Got the best buns. Oh, nice waterfall.
Yeah.
It is. Willid, would you perhaps do me the favor of letting the others know that we're here and we can enjoy this waterfall together?
Yeah, that's a good
More
idea. Ooh. I'll be right back. And then I'm gonna tip the guard and run off. I throw a thing at him. and
Throw a bun.
Back to the group.
Here, have a bun. Kellyanne, we'll get through this together. You are one of us now. And I will hug you again and then like recapitulate myself so I look all prim and proper again.
And I reach over and I can like rub your hair a little bit.
Okay, I just got that. Okay.
Wait, do I see Rob LARPing?
Yes. You mind your own business. This wine is good.
Are you going to have a drinking competition with the elves?
I don't.
Oh God, no.
I don't think anyone wants to go into a drinking competition with me.
Well, while you're waiting for Willid to come back, Gundyr and Allred, you're both, on the rougher side of humanity, and
What?
the elves are on the cultured side.
What?
And
Like how you get offended.
two elves come up to you while you're
Oh,
there
all right.
and go, "You're from the Northmen, I hear."
Yeah, that I be.
Is it true that you grew up in the wilds, under a rock?
Oh, I mean, yeah, actually. How did you know?
Wait, really? Under a rock?
Well, I mean, in a cave, which is under a rock. I mean,
I guess that's fair. Yes.
it's a big rock, but yeah.
Well, is that common for your short-lived race?
I mean, I don't think so. I mean, there wasn't a lot of other humans like me. It was mostly just me and Urza and like a couple other bears and wildlife.
Ah, Urza, yes. Some more other of your folks came by not too long ago.
Are they still here, or did they leave?
They did not seem to enjoy our company.
I can't see why not. You offered them food and drink, so.
I know, right?
It's kind of rude to just cut and run like that, but I mean, if Urza had to cut and run, it obviously means that she's got something important to do, so.
Well, with that, Willid comes up.
Hey, guys. What's up, elves? Hey, guys.
Hey.
Great spot that Nesriel and Kellyanne found. We should totally get a third helping for everybody. Take it over there and bring more wine. They want wine. Where's the
All
wine?
right. Well, I'll just go up to the table and grab like a couple of bottles and just we're just gonna
Get a
take
cask.
We're just gonna take these to go.
I just load up a couple of plates, like try carry as many as I can.
I got like 4 bottles in my arms. So what's everyone else drinking?
Huh.
Classic.
So,
I believe you could actually drink all of that.
You bet I could.
And probably not even die.
Probably not.
Yeah, but that sounds a lot less fun than all of us drinking it.
Yeah, that's.
I agree
that
with
does,
Willid.
That does sound better. All right, I guess I can share.
Here, I'll grab an extra bottle for the rest of us.
Yay! It all worked out.
If they don't earn glares taking this much wine out of the banquet hall, then I don't know elves.
Yeah.
Not glares,
That's the
just
thing
looks
about
up.
elves is that they're just gonna look at us down their noses and not do anything about it, which is great.
so now
You
there's
trying to say something, Gunder?
I'm just saying. You guys are not very confrontational.
okay. Is
I
that
mean, they don't have to be. They're just gonna outlive you anyway. It's like
Which is why it shouldn't matter. In
I
the
don't
long
I don't get in fights with the cat that lives in my basement. Cat.
Well, then you've got a very well-behaved cat because my experiences with our cat is very.
And you sir, are a well-behaved human.
You hear that? I'm well-behaved.
Yeah.
okay? All three of you, why don't you give me perception checks to notice elves things? Remember,
Notice
you're
elves
at
things.
disadvantage for exhaustion right now.
Oh, great.
I'm gonna guess this doesn't count as wilderness.
Yeah, no.
God, that's hilarious. Even with disadvantage, that's still a 22.
Wow, I got a 9.
I got also 9.
Twinsies.
Okay, so Gundyr, I mean, Willid and Elrond, like, yeah, the elves look at you. Whatever. Gundyr, you definitely can kind of pinpoint like one or two of the elves that are a particularly dislike on their face for you, and you remember their faces
Mm-hmm.
as you run off with 4 bottles of their wine and they scoff appropriately.
Just 4?
Yeah,
No one else wanted any.
I'm being conservative. And I will remember their faces because I'm gonna straighten some shit out with them tomorrow.
Oh, who's what do you mean? What do you got to straighten out?
Their attitude.
Whose attitude?
Those elves over there scoffing at us.
I thought they were all scoffing at us.
Well, those two in particular were more scoffy than the rest of them.
Where's coffee?
So what are you gonna do about it?
I'm gonna tell them to put up or shut up.
Is that the best
And-
way to
and
start
if
our
they-
stay here?
Yes.
What are you
These
gonna
aren't
do?
dwarves.
We have fought trees, orcs, a giant squid monster. We have earned some respect.
Yeah, but
I don't want to fight elves too.
what are you gonna do when they neither put up nor shut up?
Maybe I'll just pick one of them up and throw them in the waterfall. Take a bath.
Gundyr, I don't think that's a good idea.
I can feel Gliriel rolling her eyes at this conversation.
Look, man, I've had Gliriel be mad at me before, and I remember the first thing I did was I tossed her in a river, and then she was mad for about like 30 seconds, but then she thought it was funny.
That's not how I remember that.
You.
Oh boy, we're doing great.
Well, you guys are arriving to the nice, calm, restful place that Nestriel and Kellyan have been at. I don't know if any conversation occurred while you were gone, but now your compatriots have arrived with a plate mounds of food on it. A side note, like these are like the best plates you've ever seen, Willid. Just so you know, like they're like
Gosh,
elegantly carved and all
people. I know some people who would pay so much money for these.
Dude, stuff them in your backpack.
No,
I guess you
don't-
just have to
don't
be
do
careful
that.
with the plates.
What? No,
Still,
they
like,
wouldn't. Unfortunately, they wouldn't pay for stolen plates. Why would you have those?
I don't know. Why don't you keep them, like, as family heirlooms?
Well,
for God's
I'll ask if they let me keep them. I am.
Keep
I'm gonna
them.
go ask. I don't know who's in charge.
Thank you.
Maybe
I'd look around. That elf over there. Hey,
That elf over there.
they all seem authoritative to me. So
Yes,
I feel like
unusually
if I
short
ask
person.
one, can I have this plate?
I'm not sure I understand.
May I take with me out of the city of Rivendell this plate?
The food falls off.
I'll clean it up. Don't worry.
Oh man.
One of them just kind of shrugs, and the other one says that launches into a minute-long kind of description of the history of that plate, and
Oh,
like who
wow.
made it, and how long it's been here, and
I gotta.
it's
I
part of
start
what set, and You
Taking
start-
notes.
taking notes. Yeah. Wow. That's amazing. I'll sell for even more. Can I have the plate? I just want.
I just want to play.
it's
well,
a
I
answer.
believe, short sir, that that plate is the property of Elrond Half-Elven, and it is.
Gotta ask Elrond.
And
Okay.
it is his will whether it is given or not.
Yeah. That's good to know. Thanks.
So we'll ask Elrond for the plate.
I guess it is the House of Elrond, so I should have realized that the plates probably belong to whoever owns the house.
What?
Makes sense. If I was in the house of Willid, someone took my plates without asking. That would be. I can't believe it.
It would be a minor inconvenience.
Yeah.
In the meantime, I proceed to pour everybody a really tall glass of wine.
All right.
Need to make
why,
a
thank
decision.
you, Gundyr.
It's not a real glass of wine until it's completely full to the brim.
Ooh.
Traditional.
Yeah. I just assumed all those bottles of wine were for Gundyr.
Just if you sip on it slowly enough, he'll think you have another glass. I've done it many, many times.
Should we wait for Willid?
Do.
I mean, he's talking to that guy who's going through the history of a plate, so it's going to take a while.
I still have the plate. And there is more food on it.
Where did that food come from, Willid?
I got it.
That was just
Alright,
really fast.
I take the plate and I give him a glass of wine, and I take the extra one that was poured for him, and
My plate.
then I raise it up to everybody. So to friendship and to us.
Hey.
Hey.
Tiny sip.
Oh no, I jugged my glass.
Chug it.
Oh, God. Oh boy. Kelly, and I hope you're strong enough to carry them when they pass out.
This
because
is
I
really good.
certainly am not.
Gundyr does not pass out.
I think that's the same thing you said before you did that in the hall where the dwarves were having their own party.
I took a nap.
Yeah.
That's different.
That's what I was about to
willingly
say.
laid down to take a nap.
Wherever
On
I
topic.
pass out is actually just where I went to bed. So it's not passing out.
Right.
It's going to sleep.
I went to bed. That's different than passing out. My bed was just happened to be on the floor with the rest of the dwarves.
In the
Totally
middle of
fine.
the Great Hall.
So as you had your toast, you sit there, you drink into the evening, you think about all of the events that have happened since you've gotten together, that you have been to Lorien, that you have fought trees and squids and spiders. You
Orcs.
reminisce about that time where you had to drag a spider down this cliff face together.
God,
You
that was great.
It was perfect.
you
And we
do
didn't even
that.
think it was a baby.
Willid, you were such good bait.
For the sake of continuity, we're going to say that Gliriel did not join you for this. That she she was talking to other elves, something.
She's like, I have cousins who live here. I'm gonna go stay with them.
Already,
Yeah,
she
that's
probably
Okay,
told.
babe. I'll see you later.
Okay, babe. See, like, yeah, that's definitely that's Elrond to a T.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
What was that, Greg?
Nice and smooth.
Already, she specifically told you that there were some friends she knew from Lorien here that she was going to converse with, and that she would meet you again in the morning.
Sounds great.
So
I'm just gonna pass out here in this room next to this waterfall.
It's not a room.
Clear
It's a bridge.
private area.
I mean, as far as the Northmen are concerned, and probably Kellyan to a large degree as well, this is
Yeah.
a pretty darn good place to sack out. It's got a roof.
That's true.
Nice white noise machine right there.
It's
Yeah, nice.
it's pretty solid.
Right.
All right.
So, and with that, the sun has set and the night goes on, and you're woken in the morning by the elves that come by, informing you the breakfast is ready, and then the Lord Elrond will see you.
Oh man.
All right.
You know,
Food.
there's nothing like a big meal followed by good drink, followed by good sleep, followed by another good meal to make a man feel whole.
Dude.
Wait. You missed a couple steps.
Super, super
I did?
You missed second breakfast.
Oh.
And I
Second
can't remember all the other ones.
Second.
Afternoon tea.
Dinner, supper, 11sies.
11s.
Yep. All of them.
All those.
How do you eat so much?
I know. That's what I keep saying.
Biology?
Where does it go?
So, I assume that you go.
Yes.
I'm gonna go clean up first because we just slept outside.
Yeah.
Essentially.
Now, technically, your level of exhaustion is not yet removed. We haven't moved to the fellowship phase or the rest phase yet. So, which will hopefully happen after this conversation. But you never know. If you insult him enough, you might get thrown out and never get your chance.
Uh-oh.
But your
It's a
bellies are
possibility.
you're still hungry the next morning, even after that great food. So, you traveling to the Great Hall where breakfast is there. It's much less people at breakfast this morning. In fact, do elves even do breakfast? There's only like
some
five elves in the room, and you eat your breakfast pretty quick and then go off to talk to Elrond, who has an audience hall. And it's an outdoor place. It's kind of a porch, and it sits up by the house, and so you can see the mountains and all of that. But it's got tables and it's not a throne, but like a higher chair where Elrond is sitting, and he has
Higher chair.
he has female elves on both sides of him.
Oh my.
Elrond.
Because he's a baller.
I mean, Nestriel, you'll know for sure that one of those is Celebrain, his wife,
Mm.
who is alive in this timeline. So that's good.
That is good. It's a lot less edgy. Is the other one his daughter, or is she not?
You haven't, but you would guess, especially because you have heard the tales of his daughter as being the most beautiful elf in all of the lands, and that would seem like that qualifies by what you see.
It's just very attractive. Give a traditional, respectful elven greeting to all of them.
Gliril is there as well, and he stands and greets you. Welcome once again to my home. I hope that the evening was to your liking. It is the way of the house that whatever it is that you need, it seems to have a way to provide.
I pull out the plate.
Wait,
I pull out the plate.
Willid, not
Speaking
now.
of things that we need,
Oh God, Willid.
Mr. Elrond, sir.
So before you start, remember this is a traditions roll because it's asking for a favor from a lord.
Roll tradition.
Is his traditions roll going to be separate from the group's tradition roll?
Well, we'll see. I mean, I guess
See what happens.
it sounded like someone might be thinking about grabbing him.
No, just I'm gonna encourage him. Just remember what you said to the guard, and you get a plus D6.
Right.
You got
Remember what you said to the guard. Remember the history of the plate.
All right, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
I did all right again. Thank you, Killian. Saved my bacon. 14
Okay.
With the D6?
with the D6. Thank God for the D6.
I think we almost just got kicked out over a plate.
Plate.
So do your spiel, Willid.
This plate here, of which I have heard the tale of how it was created and what famous dinners it was used to serve food at. I was wondering if I could ask one favor before one point of trust between us before we even launch into the serious stuff. Can I take it home with me?
The plate?
The plate. This plate right here.
Why the plate?
Do you know about hobbits?
I know of hobbits.
I mean, if I were to if say that like our maybe a family crest or something, probably like a solid quarter of all hobbit flags have plates and food and stuff on them. It's really important to our culture. So plate, it's like a piece of memorabilia. It's like a hunter's trophy that, you know, their prize catch. To a hobbit, that's a plate.
His family will
Can't even
cherish
tell if
that.
he's
put it above-
lying or not.
I'm gonna put it above my
I
heart.
don't think he is.
I'm gonna give it to my children, and they're gonna give it to their children, and it'll pass between generations, and it will. It's like, you know, a nod to its own immortality.
My good sir,
Hmm.
I feel that before your stay in Rivendell is done, that there will be things that I ask of you that will be dark and hard.
Oh boy.
If this plate can bring such happiness to you and your family,
Oh, good.
then it is but a small token of gratitude for the darkness that you will walk.
Yeah.
I whispered down at him, "You should have asked for more plates."
I mean, shit, you should have
whole
asked for a
set.
whole dinette set.
You would have needed at least a 20 for the dinette set, let's be clear.
You would have needed 20 for the dinette set.
He said a thing about my parents. I'm gonna quiet down for now and get serious, I guess.
What did he say about your parents?
At this point, I'm probably going to speak out of turn and basically confront Elrond and be like, I heard the Northmen were here. Where did they go?
I just wanted to be polite to my kinsman.
I'm
Yes.
sorry.
That is the main
I hold your
topic of
hand,
our,
Nesriel.
Thank you.
of our conversation here today. Please Have a seat. And with that, like a couple of elves, by a couple I mean like six, come up from what was the side of the audience hall, carrying this big black box with like black
Oh,
speech engraved on it. That should
Oh,
look a
hey,
little
it's that
familiar.
thing.
Wait, it's that thing.
Yes. This was one of the many reasons why we have shown up for your wisdom and advice, Lord Elrond.
Willid, do you think there's still an orc in there?
Work? Oh. Right. Forgot.
Oh,
I don't know.
Kirby, that thing was heavy.
Have you opened it, my lord Elrond?
I have, since the Lady Ursa has sent it into my care, I have studied it both inside and out.
I think they took the orc out.
And seen what there is to be made of it. And certainly it is troubling.
Yeah.
The body inside of it? I'm just trying to specify here.
I have heard tales be told that this, not only was this brought from the dark lands of Angmar, but yet there was an elf from the east that had never seen the light.
Ooh.
That spirit was trapped inside. Is this true?
That is correct. We found an Avari pair of siblings, a sister and a brother, and the brother was in the box, deceased, and his spirit, once released, became a wight that chased us all the way to Lorien. But I believe we have kept it at bay. His body is currently in Lorien as well.
Mm-hmm. And the sister is also in Lorien.
Yes, though she will come to our aid if we request. When I looked in the mirror of Erised, at Galadriel's very gracious behest, I felt as though I could not breathe when inside the box and that there was no escaping from me or my soul. Is that in keeping with what you have discovered?
This is a shell, a trap, forged by those magics that would harness the spirits of the dead. The same magic, in a sense, that the ringwraiths themselves are subject to, that keeps them trapped in this world even after their bodies have withered and died.
Can
I
it be
feel
destroyed?
that this is the work of the Witch King, and he is using it to grasp another power of death.
That is very concerning.
It is, for not only have our scouts that have recently returned from the north said that there is more than just the Witch King abroad, but it seems that even among their troops they may have those that are the dead and that walk.
Well, what? I mean, could you reiterate? Can you reiterate what you just said? Like there are walking dead things.
The power of the Nazgul, of the Witch King himself, appears to be spreading, harnessing that power of his own to wage an army of the dead against Arthedain. It is not unheard of, but it is a dark magic.
Is Arthedain aware of this? I'm assuming they are.
I have heard that they know of this army and this invasion. I am less sure of their ability
who's
to
leading?
stand.
Who's leading the army against the undead? I mean, do we know of? I'm sorry. Carry on.
What you see here in front of you is but a box. It is a tool, but for you, it means decisions. It means the multiple paths that you might have to take. For there are at least two that spread from it. One, the elves that brought it. The elves who themselves have spirits already trapped in the world. And what it might mean for all of us.
Hmm.
There is a path to the east where this Avari must talk to Thranduil, and then perhaps a journey to the east for those who might learn of what these elven realms truly are. There's also the path that you speak of here, the path to Angmar, the path to Arthedain, where this power is growing and threatens the north.
Right, I'm not making the decisions.
I will answer any questions you might have.
Well,
How big is this army of undead?
I do not know.
What's the chances of Arthedain coming out of it victorious? In your opinion?
I have seen the men of the north fight against the darkness of Angmar with valor,
Yeah, but we always lose.
but they have always lost, each time beaten back a little further as the darkness in the north regrows itself and becomes another tide against the bulwark of the north.
How do
Will
we
this
kill
be
them?
the one that breaks it? I do not know.
How do you kill the dead?
It's a good question.
One cannot kill the dead. One can only break the bond that keeps them into this realm.
Okay, how do you do that?
All the bonds are forged with power, and that power must be broken. Sometimes they are bound somewhat to a physical form, and the destruction of that form makes the bond must regrow and reform. That can be one way, but it is only temporary.
So you can break the bond and be that temporary hold over them? Is that what you're saying?
Their form would be destroyed until it is time to reform, as long as the power that is bound them here remains.
How do we go about that? Who do we find?
Well, right now, if you are to talk of the Witch King, one assumes it is the dark
Blast
power of
that.
Sauron that draws him here. How would you destroy that? I do not think we know.
So it's pointless. It's absolutely pointless.
Nothing is pointless if we can find its weakness.
The
Lord
weakness is to go after this Witch King or Sauron. That's like, oh, those are really two good options. Let's just see which one we want to go and die first.
I believe our perseverance is more than enough to find what we need to stop them. Perhaps
You don't understand the depths of that Witch King's power. I've seen it myself, and it's terrifying. There is no chance. There's no way that I saw an entire army slain in just one spell.
It
What
doesn't
do we
matter.
have?
It doesn't matter if there's a chance or not. We try anyway.
And to what
Otherwise,
end?
death.
Well, yeah, if you screwed if you do, screwed if you don't, might as well do.
I will squeeze your hand tighter, assuming that we are still holding hands.
My parents always talked about patients who would come in, and sometimes you just know that they're not gonna, they're too old or too sick or too hurt. But you comfort them, you try anyway.
Yep. You got to stand against evil, even if it means that it's impossible and that you can't do it.
Well, this is by no means impossible, just improbable. Now, Kellyan, hear me out. If if the shadow has put into place a plan, it has pieces. If those pieces are removed or damaged or redirected, then that plan falls apart and his army of dead will fall with him. We just have to find the right pieces.
I
We know
agree.
two of them, these sarcophagi and coffigans. We're good. This box and all of its shadowy evil is a piece. The Avari are a piece. The sword, the black blade, is a piece. You very well may be a piece. But how do we move them to outmaneuver our opponent? I think
We already started by intercepting this box in the first place.
Mm-hmm.
we have
Well,
a
I
check.
think our next step then should be taking these of RA where they need to go.
The path to the east.
Yeah.
I agree.
Well,
Then it sounds like we got a plan.
I am here to offer any assistance or knowledge that I can in this tough decision.
Offer it to our.
I assume that you will, if there's any additional information I can gather, I will make sure that it is brought to you. But if this is all the questions you have for now, perhaps it is best that you rest from your weary travels here, so your mind is clear before you set forth on whatever journey it is that awaits you next.
I agree.
Sounds like a good idea to me.
Yep.
My sons have traveled towards Arthedain and are due to return soon. When they return, they may bring more information of what is happening in the north. As to your path to the east, I have received word from Galadriel about Wethril, the elf, the Avari,
Mm-hmm.
and she is still there and awaiting. She also sends word that I am to bring forth the one of you named Elrond. Would you please step forward?
Yeah, that's you, Elrond.
We all turn and look at Elrond.
Yeah.
You're just as surprised as I am. I'll walk forward.
Elrond stands up as you approach, and Celebrain over on the side holds up a sword, and he
Okay.
takes it not in a particular threatening manner, if that's relevant.
I assume so.
This is the way. The Lady Galadriel has requested that you be her messenger among the mortals and champion for the darkness that is to come. Is this a burden you wish to accept?
It's a burden I will bear, yes.
He does the touching the sword on either side thing there. And you have officially gotten your first fellowship action of gain title, which is
Hey.
Nice.
Champion of Lorien. Not
Whoa.
one you were expecting.
Wow.
Nope.
Way to go.
I have the utmost respect for my colleague Galadriel's wisdom. I am sure that what she sees in you is the best of mortal men.
I'm honored.
So, side note, for those of you, Nestril's probably the only one who knows this, but Celebrain is actually Galadriel's daughter. Just in case you don't know that. Okay.
Oh.
So,
Willid has no idea about that.
yeah, no, that's the thing. Our Galadriel player probably doesn't know that either, but that's beside the point.
Fair.
We'll tell him later.
Well, hey, Alex. BT Dubs.
your daughter Totes married Elrond.
Oh snap! It begins.
Okay. With that being said, Elrond ends the council to leave you to rest and think about the actions ahead and the paths that you might travel. This is your point. We're going to first jump into like actual fellowship actions, which essentially means one, you're going to get to rest, so everyone can finally remove that level of exhaustion. Do that,
Yeah.
or any other levels of exhaustion you might have.
Woo.
Elrond's place is particularly good at removing shadow points. So if anybody's got a shadow point, I think we got one or two around somewhere, right?
I think all mine got cleared in the last rest.
Okay, good.
I've never had problems with shadow points so far.
Surprisingly, neither do I.
I've gotten a few, but I think they went away.
You guys are welcome. I've been giving you all my damn plants this whole time, and it's worked out.
Woo!
Also, I'm very
yeah,
low on
that's right.
plants. I
So
need-
no need to recuperate from the shadow. Good, that's good.
Yep.
It's good to avoid those permanent shadow points.
Mhm.
They're a thing. And so then the next thing is you can do an undertaking, which essentially allows you, to do something awesome. I'm going to assume that as player characters, most of you are going to want to take the Get Virtue undertaking, where you learn something awesome about yourself, essentially get a feat
Yeah,
from hanging out in Rivendell, which seems appropriate to me, right?
let's do that. I want
Totally.
Okay,
Yeah.
I
so
think that's
except for Nestriel and Kellyan, you're going to be restricted to just the open virtues. But that's going to be fine for Gundar and Alred because they'll both take one look at Fell Hand and just decide that's totally what they're doing. You've hanging out with elves has taught you how to have a fell hand when fighting the darkness. If you choose something else, fine, but I'm assuming that's going to be it. The Willid, I don't know what you're going to do. Kellyan, you have access both to the Dunedain cultural virtues and the open virtues. So you could actually take another level of that one you've got, I think.
Oh,
Makes you
which
more
one is
sensitive
that?
to the shadow.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's strong-willed that's next. That would be good for you, or good for the rest of everybody.
Sorry. What does that one entail?
It gives you bonuses against like fear or wraiths, and
Oh,
if you
that's a good one.
succeed well, then everybody gets to succeed, not just you.
Oh, that is a good one.
So I'm pretty sure it's the sort of thing you're going to learn here. So that works. It fits. Nestriel, feel free to take an elven virtue as well, like those ones that make you really good with bows.
Yeah, I was thinking about it.
Can
But
I
I kind
take
of like being non-combat. It's a weird...
I was actually kidding about the bow thing, but you do what you want.
So what page are the virtues on? Does anybody know?
100.
I can look it up later, or
100 where it starts?
actually, I should probably just do it now.
Can I take cultural values, Hobbit cultural values, or those
No, not here.
Hobbit?
The
Or-
reason Dunedain and elves
Shire.
get to is because that's the two cultures that exist here.
Makes sense.
Can you go over the paths again?
The two choices Elrond gave you.
Yeah.
He talked about going east to visit the elves, although you remember, I'm sure, that he specifically mentioned talking to Thranduil on the way.
Yeah.
And
he did.
And he involved bringing Wethril. There's probably more conversation to be had about that, but that was option one. Option two was to head north and assist against the invasion of Arthedain, essentially, or those other paths that direction. I mean, the Shire is that direction too. And I mean, if they get through Arthedain, they're going to get to the Shire. So that's, if you feel like letting Arthedain just buffer up the Wraith army for a while and then having the Hobbits save the day, that's a possibility.
is a possibility.
So if I did want something other than fell-handed, just the open virtues?
Yes, just the open virtues.
Yeah.
I don't know why you wouldn't want fell-handed, because that's awesome.
Yeah.
Raise my damage by half my proficiency bonus, rounded up. Yes, yes, please.
I kind of want to take cultural heirloom and make it the plate.
Yes, that would be awesome.
I don't know what bonus that would ever get me. Well, how that would benefit me ever, but it kind of fits.
I mean, I feel like you got the plate already, but if you want to like make it like a magical bonus plate, then you can spend cultural heritage on that, and it will be that. And I'm excited for these adventures that we have, where normally the adventurers are worried about the potions in their backpack being broken, but with Willid, it's like, no, don't hit the plate.
The plate.
Please be careful.
Plate.
Wait.
That's what Bilbo Baggins hates.
That's what Bilbo Baggins.
I love that poem. I love it. But the
Uh,
next
I will admit that is a
Great.
great poem.
I mean, maybe it's already magical in that it's
Well-
it's like meant to. It's just it wants to serve people nutritious stuff and somehow keep
I mean, really, when I said magical, I meant special, right?
Yeah,
that for
somehow-
you it has some special, and I guess in mechanical
We'll
benefit to it.
We'll see.
Whether what that is exactly, we might have a conversation. But
I'm excited to find out what it is.
yeah, that sounds like an awesome thing. Let's do it. Although it's probably one of the more fragile special items that you could get.
Yeah.
Later on, after the scarred and aged Willid is returning from his last adventure, he says, "Oh yes, and this is my last shard of the plate that I've kept.
It still works.
It's all I've got left."
This old crotchety, superstitious Willid.
not gold, but a plate.
Okay. I assume that's going to be the undertaking. So while you're doing those, maybe some other thinking, you are spending a couple of weeks here at Rivendell. You get an opportunity to get to know people, get to talk and refresh and hang by the river, drink elven wine, listen to elven music. As a side note, one of the like Rivendell specific undertakings you could do, which I'm assuming none of you are doing, is called write song and impress elves with it.
Yeah, I
Ooh.
mean, maybe.
As important as that sounds.
I mean, I do have a 4 in performance.
Really? Are you kidding me with this?
You don't know who I was before.
Why don't you sing
apparently
more
not.
songs? You've been making me tell a bunch of songs and stories.
I never. Let's be clear on this. I've never made you do anything. You've done it willingly.
That's true. I have done it willingly, but I'm really not that good at it.
I'll tell you what. Like, you can sing, or I'll play something, and then we'll see how it goes.
All right. When we leave this place, I'm singing Johnny Tar.
Oh God, not anything but that.
It's a really good song, though. It's so catchy and so easy to learn. Everyone knows the chorus.
Do they?
Willid knows the chorus.
Huh?
You know the chorus to Johnny Tar, right?
Oh yeah. Oh right. Yes, that's a. I maybe know a different version than you, but yeah.
I mean, I'm guaranteeing you it's the same chorus.
So did you win the argument then, or what?
Did I win the argument? I'm trying to get Kellyanne to tell more stories because she's better at it.
She's a very good storyteller. This is true.
Yeah, sorry, I was distracted by this plate.
It's a very nice plate.
I don't know. God, you need to sort out your priorities.
I mean, he could have gotten 2 plates. Maybe on our way back we can get another one.
Well,
I mean,
I have 1 plate for each trip to Rivendell.
One plate for each trip to Riven.
I forgot to mention that old scarred Willid also has a pony with a china cabinet behind him. But
Nice.
so first question though about spending a couple weeks at Rivendell is going to go to Kellyan about whether you continue to attempt to avoid your fellow Dunedain at all costs.
Yes.
Actually, I was hoping to speak with you about that, Kellyan.
I don't avoid them. I go
So
and chat them up.
I, weirdly enough.
Gundyr, get out of here. She's my friend.
She's my friend too. What the shit? Can't we both be friends?
Yes, but shoo.
Yes, but
Right.
shoot.
Fine, I'll let you handle it because you think you're better at it than I am, I guess. I'll just go pound in the corner.
Just work on the song that I'm going to help you sing tonight.
So hurt yourself, you wouldn't believe it.
Not that song.
Well, I was just going to find you at some point, and having noticed that you're continuing to avoid him, I need you to be brave for me, Kellyan.
Who do you want me to kill?
Your self-doubt.
Ooh.
I said who and not what.
Self-doubt has a creature rating of about 38, just so you know.
Oh, great.
Jesus. All right. It sounds like one of our options involves going east to Mirkwood, and we discussed in front of the waterfall the fear of facing people and things that may give you not what you're hoping.
I got you. I got you. If you have anybody at Mirkwood that's giving you like anything, I will set them straight.
It's not someone you can do that to. So I was hoping you might inspire me to bravery by instead facing your demons.
Don't you say it. Don't. Ah! Why did you have to say that?
If you can talk to that Dunedain, then I believe I can talk.
See, but here's the thing. My talking is pointless. It's like this magical rainbow of pointless shit. All right, when you speak, people will listen and people will remember. There's a huge difference between you and I.
That's not always been true. The person who I fear doesn't listen to me no matter what I say.
Well, I'm pretty sure we can get some help from Gundyr and make him listen.
Oh, he does not like Gundyr. Look,
More
if
reason.
you don't want to, that's fine. I'll
tell you what, I'll stop actively avoiding this person, but I'm not going to go out of my way to waste a couple of sentences that will just flutter away as soon as they walk away.
I suppose I can understand that. If someone as strong as you can't face your fears, how can I?
Oh my damn, can't you stop with that? God. Okay, I'll tell you what. I will sit in the dining hall as they're sitting in the dining hall. Better? That's facing my fears. I don't have any, but that would be it.
I don't have any.
I appreciate that.
Convincing argument there, Kellyan.
Perfect.
And I'll reach to take your hand, and I look very calm, but when you hold my hands, you can feel them shaking just a little bit.
Ah, damn it. All right, let's go find and have a conversation. I pull you up and I start walking off. God damn it. Stupid
You should
elves.
join us.
I go find the Dunedain.
If I can hook either Elrond or Willid into this as well, I would like to have Kellyan's family supporting her for this moment.
Yeah, I'm all about that.
I'm telling somebody about my plate. It might be the people you're trying to talk to already.
Well, I mean, if you
I'll
want,
join.
it could just be at a meal time where he's there, and you like, and in fact, before too long, he's likely to just come over because you're the other humans.
Ulred's busy spending time with his lady elf.
So this is that
That's
situation,
also probably true.
and you come over. and he comes over and sits down next to all of you. Gliriel is here as well. She has been generally eating with you all because she has a say to some degree, has a say in the what direction you do next thing.
Yeah.
She does, by the way, not to interrupt too much, but Allred, she does seem particularly more proud of you, I guess. Now that you've got that title.
Dude! You're freaking
I put my hand over a gun to
I
his
knew it.
mouth.
I was gonna say something earlier, but
Let
I
it-
knew it.
You guys
I mean,
let it happen. Just shit. Let it happen.
Allred has been walking around a little more like puffy chested, like the last couple days.
Let him enjoy.
Yes.
Oh my goodness.
Seems like you've got like inflammation going on in your chest.
Okay, Willid.
there.
What are you, doctor? Quiet.
Oh, hey, look, there's a bun, Willid. Here, and I shove it in his mouth. Good.
Mm.
Yeah.
Like it when you shove elven buns in my mouth.
I don't know if we're done with that yet, but that's the top of the heap so far.
Okay,
Okay,
I understand, Willid.
So he comes over and introduces himself as Ariad.
What's his name?
Ariad.
Okay, we're good.
You do not recognize him, if that's relevant, Kellyan.
Okay.
He does, make some comment about it's nice to sometimes, after eating with elves for a while, it's best to not eat with elves. Which he then looks embarrassed about as he looks at Nestiel and Gliriel.
It's okay.
But takes a seat.
So what brings you here?
Okay. It's okay. We pat him on the back.
I'm one of the Rangers of the North. We had come through Rudar to deal with both the army and the wolves that had come through there. Quite some times, I would say. We talk about war in the north now, but there's already been war in the east of Arthedain, and been through some grizzled fights against packs of wolves and the like.
Yeah.
The king sent me here to, as best I could, to see what I could to inform Elrond and do what is needed.
One of the who leads your armies?
The king himself came to fight with the Rangers, and he is headed back north. So Argelev will be leading the armies himself, I'm sure.
Am I around for this?
Yes.
I kind of listen in, and I'm very clearly like getting close when they start talking about.
What about how about the other generals and commanders of your people? How do they fare?
It has been an
Even closer.
interesting time for. It's hard to tell as I was on the frontier, but it seems that some intrigues of the court have split some of the families, the great families, from the king and caused some strife. He has arrested 2 traitors and charged them with treason.
Who?
He gives a couple of names. You absolutely recognize them. I mean, they're heads of large families.
Yeah. But nobody like that I care about, right?
No.
None of them. Okay.
No.
Any any word about the king's second son?
Oh, the one that was slain?
Oh. How did he die?
I hear it was a riding accident.
No, riding accident. Do you actually believe that?
Is there a reason I should not?
Oh. Sorry, I misspoke. But but the other generals and commanders and stuff. They have been faring well, right?
We have won all our recent battles. In fact, the last fight against the King of Rudar has left Rudar scattered and leaderless. The hillmen cover the hills over here, lost now from the small bits of organization and civilization they had left. It is only a matter of time before Rudar dissolves and these hillmen find some other charismatic leader to follow.
That's good. That's great. Yep. Do you want some more wine? You look like you need some more wine. Here you go. I pour him some more wine.
One thing there is plenty of is wine in this place. Thank you.
You're welcome.
No, well, I'm done.
I pointed Lilac over at Nestriel. I think I'm tired and I want to get some air. Excuse me. It's nice talking to you. All right, nod at everybody at the table, and I get up and I go to a nice little solitary place.
Did you go to the waterfall again?
Yes.
It's a great place for us to hang out.
Good memories, man.
It's our spot.
Yeah, well, yeah, I'm gonna follow because I got nothing better to do.
Tagging you in, Gundyr.
Yeah, I'm tagging in. Nasty. Don't worry about it.
Not some person to be babysat.
We just
We're not babysitting.
really want to
We
be your
just-
friends, but we
we
have
just
to
wanna-
share. So we have to take turns.
In the back, they've got a schedule. It's like, okay, who's on Kellyan time right now? Oh, I've got from
That's
5 to
true.
8, and then you're 8 to 12.
Right, Nestril and I have already got this scheduled out.
Did you remember to feed her? Why didn't you remember to feed her?
What did
But
you-
you said you were gonna do it.
You don't eat if we don't bring you food and make you eat it.
Right.
You always say, I'm not hungry. You
Shove
haven't
it
been
down
hungry
the
for a week.
You haven't been hungry for weeks.
I mean, I'll eat whatever you don't. So
That's why we make such a good team.
Willid,
I'll drink your milkshake.
Okay, so Kellyan, you wander off from that conversation.
Mhm.
Anything you want to add onto that before we move to the next scene?
I take out like a quill and some parchment, and I just, start, writing maybe a poem. Who knows? It's very introspective. Should
Okay.
I roll for it to see how epic it is?
I mean, if you ask the question, the answer is yes.
Right. Awesome. What do I roll?
Performance?
Performance?
Oh, hey.
I mean, it could just be
Yeah.
straight charisma. I mean, technically, in fact, writing tools are proficient in poetry. I don't know. You don't have any of that, so maybe just straight charisma.
Charisma sounds good. That's awesome.
Was that dang? That's awesome.
Yeah, dang, that's awesome. Cause guess who rolled a natural 20?
Ooh.
I know.
That's so well timed.
I know. Not, killing people well timed, but killing time.
Well, gain an inspiration as the poem itself inspires you in its message and in what you have written. And later on, if you want to share said poem, we'll have a conversation. We'll make another scene out of that.
All right.
Wait, I
I'd
thought
write
make a
this down.
scene was bad, but no, never mind. Okay.
No, it's fine.
Here, it's what we're doing. We're storytelling. We're making scenes. Speaking of that, my next scene on my list is the one where, a little bit later, Allred is approached by Elrond himself.
Whoa. Ooh.
May I walk with you?
Of course.
Oh shit.
It's the shovel talk, man.
It's shovel talk.
I need to talk to you about your girlfriend.
I need to talk to you about your intimate relations.
What are your intentions with this elf?
What are your intentions with this? Oh, damn. Come on, you got this. Come on.
I think you guys have already done it. I don't need anything now. No. Okay, never mind. So, already, as you're walking, he turns to you and says, "You may. I do not know if you know, but it is my own grandparents that were the first union of elf and man.
I know I was unaware. I'm not well versed in elf lore.
It is a rare event indeed for those of the immortal kin and those of the mortal kin to join. But it seems to me that both Galadriel has shown some trust in you, and that the elf maiden Gliriel has at least some interest, perhaps passing below that of Beren and Luthien, but it is still a unique thing in this world. A special thing.
I'm very glad for it. She has become very special to me.
It is not my place, for Gliriel is not of my kin, but I would give you the advice of that of a child from such a union, in that it is hard for each of us to grow up in a world that is separated. My brother and I both had to make choices and pick a side. And in this case, it is not just the side of two cultures, but of mortality and immortality itself. Would you thrust upon someone the choice of mortality?
I do not know. It's never something I've had to face.
It is only a question that I bring for you, for I do not know the end of your fate or the choices you will make.
I thank you for your words. It gives me much to think upon.
Okay. I thank you, and I hope that your stay here remains comfortable.
I am sure it will.
Oh, yeah.
Okay. That was Allred. Willid.
Hey.
It's not.
So I'm a little.
Oh, go.
Just a little flustered is all. Whatever happens, I'm just.
Yeah, some wise-looking elf comes up. I mean, by wise, he's got like robes and he's carrying a book and scrolls, right? That's how you tell you they're wise.
Of course.
They have glasses on.
No glasses.
Because their eyes are right.
Far-seeing and perfect. See? Luke knows.
Hello?
This is,
Hi.
in fact, I am Aristor.
I am Willid.
Couldn't help but noticing in the conversation as you've been around that you seem to be bound to the Shadow World in some way.
Yeah, I don't know Yes, maybe. There's something happening to me, I think. We suspect. There's some shadow involved, for sure. But other than that, I don't know exactly how it works.
You remember back at the council, we had the conversation about how wraiths are bound by power.
Yeah. Sorry, I was still hungry at that point. But yeah, I remember that.
Well, my good hobbit, I offer you some advice then, that if you can find that power that is binding your spirit to this world outside of you, then that is how you will solve your problem.
Find the power. Binding. Okay, well, that's probably... It's got to be the book, right? Is that it?
A book. Could be. Some book with shadow knowledge or darkness in it?
I didn't read it.
I didn't.
I don't know what it's about, actually. I know it was a powerful book.
Oh. Well, if
I
it's someone
didn't
else
think
that read the
it
book,
was bad.
it might not be the book, but it might be them that's binding you. But one of the two is probably it.
Who read it? Okay.
So, yeah, just thought you should know. And he wanders off.
Oh, okay. Just gonna drop this lore bomb and leave. Elves.
Okay.
Whatever, that's the most useful conversation you guys will have with an elf this whole session.
And oddly, the most straightforward.
I don't even know what the title of the book is. And what am I just going to walk up to people and be like, hey, have you read this book?
Who was part of your party? I'd probably start with those bastards.
Well, apparently one of them's dead. So
I mean, apparently, did you see a body?
The second
I didn't see a
son?
body. Yep.
No body. Maybe not dead.
Did I? Hey, Greg, question. Do I have any dreams about killing,
You haven't had any bad dreams at all in Rivendell. Like,
Okay,
nothing.
yeah, but did I have a bad dream in the past
Nice.
about maybe accidentally killing?
You don't know. You don't remember one of those.
Okay, well that's at least a small good sign. Well, yeah, so he's dead. Then there's a couple of others that I haven't seen or heard from. So I don't know.
Well, I think that should be the next thing we should focus on.
Hey, weren't you? Wait, am I just happen to be standing?
Oh, maybe not.
Like I was
Maybe-
just chilling and you're like on the other side of the alcove.
Maybe
Yeah,
like
right.
You're like having a moment. I'm just like, oh,
I was just
it's
used
nice to get away and look at the view. And then the guy comes up and says that, and you're like on the other side,
totally
listening.
To be
eavesdropping.
fair, Rivendell isn't really the most private of places. I mean, there's lots of private places to go, but none of them have like 4 walls and a door.
Right. It's mostly balconies overlooking the glory that is Rivendell, because like every room has a window view of how awesome Rivendell is.
'Cause it is, Gundyr. God.
I know that, but at the same time, that doesn't do much for privacy. If I'm like on the balcony below their balcony while they're talking about this important shit, and I was like, man, all I want is to drink more.
It's the best place for finding out stuff that maybe they weren't ready for you to know yet.
I mean, I understand that, but like, how do I approach that as a person with an 8 charisma? So I
Keep your mouth shut.
overheard you talking, and I want to be your friend.
Wah, wah.
But you're adorable, so you have that going for you, which is good.
Well, I'm glad I got that going for me.
You're also very strong.
Okay.
This
Okay.
is true as well.
We're gonna move to Gundyr. No, actually, I'm doing Nestriel first, and then Gundyr will be our last one. As we
Yay!
end this.
Save the
So-
best for last.
I thought the saying was your last.
Oh,
Ah,
wow.
oh boy.
Well, I guess I'll just go. I'll be fine.
You guys were getting too near to being cheery earlier, so I've got to knock that down a couple of pegs.
Okay, all right.
Okay, speaking of that, Nestriel, you're doing some lore.
Yep.
Spending your time in the books and libraries of Rivendell, which is kind of like heaven for you in a lot of ways.
I am
There's some
super
good stuff
excited.
here.
Yep.
I have good news and bad news. Mostly good news because you rolled well.
Yay!
Bad news is there's not really a lot more about the Avari than we haven't already kind of walked through within the knowledge. And it's not really the specialty here either, so not a lot. On the other hand, ring wraiths and Nazgul.
Yep.
That's the specialty of this house in a lot of ways. Their rings are important to Elrond, and so are all of the rings. So you get all the stuff about that. There's 9 rings of the ring wraiths, and kind of some idea they were men that were put together. Don't forget to add in there that you probably know about like the dwarven rings and the elven rings as well in your lore. You can have some suspicions about where those are.
Mhm.
And of course, you get to hear about the One Ring too, that binds them all together. That if it was destroyed, then all their power would disappear. So that's also something that's in Nestriel's knowledge bank now.
Oh, boy.
You rolled really good, so I'm going to add a couple of other things. One fun thing is that you're pretty sure the ring wraiths are definitely spirit bound, because that's part of the power of Sauron is keeping them from escaping and all of that. And based on what you know from the box, if you were to put a ring wraith in that black box, it could not get out. You're pretty darn sure.
Ooh. That's exciting.
Now, there's always some question. It's possible that if it had some other power that wasn't like expressly death, that it might be able to use it to escape in some fashion. But certainly, its spiritual form would not be able to go anywhere else once it was there. So that's potentially relevant.
Mhm.
Other things about ring wraiths. There is a lot of conversation that there were originally thought that when Sauron was destroyed, the ring wraiths were as well, but it's clear that they're just reforming. So I'm actually going to give you that there's one line of knowledge of thought is that if the ring wraiths are reforming, so is Sauron. Or potentially. Just to make your day better.
What am I supposed to do with that in this campaign?
Cry.
Whatever you want to.
So we're
Bring
gonna
it
take a
forward.
hard left turn, guys. We're gonna go after this ring because I believe Sauron might be coming back, and that's really bad. Also, it'll stop the ring wraiths and fix everything. All right, level 8s, let's go.
Yeah,
Woo.
we're qualified.
Can you explain that again?
We're gonna take on all the problems of the world.
So, yeah, Sauron's encounter level might still be higher than all of you.
Right?
Oh, really?
Right.
Really?
We'll check back in at 9th level.
We'll check
Ah!
back.
I don't think anything will change.
Nah.
Ask us when we're 20th level.
Well, yeah, so better get on giving you levels. Okay,
Right. Get on
It-
that, great.
as a side note, I mean, this is a lot of like famous lore that Nestriel is learning. I mean, you also learn about the One Ring and that it was lost in the Gladden Fields and Isildur's heir and all that stuff.
Yep.
So you're at least aware that no one knows where the One Ring is, and
Yep.
common knowledge says that it rolled down into the sea and is lost forever.
Neat. We can never destroy him. Awesome.
Hooray.
Yay!
Only the good things. I
Uh,
feel like that would trigger a moment of despair for me.
you definitely I mean, if you were anywhere but Rivendell, I'd be giving you shadow points for learning all of this stuff. But the
Fair.
fact that you're in Rivendell means that moment of despair will wait until you leave.
Okay.
That's what we need. Two of our party members in utter despair all the time.
Right.
Who's the second one?
Hey, I've got a lot of inspiration. I'll come out of it eventually.
Gee, I wonder who the second one could be.
I have no idea. I'm a rainbow and Daisy kind of a girl.
Uh-huh.
Grass is always greener kind of person, right?
Yep.
Oh, always.
A daisy covered in blood.
Well,
Well, just to mention from the chat there that there might be a third path now forming called go to the Grey Havens, talk Curtin into building you a submarine, and go look for the ring.
Just let the existential dread set in for realsies, and then we might go do that.
Yeah.
I mean, right? He could build a submarine-like thing, right? That's all you need. You just need some way to
For
like
sure.
some sort of power detector to sweep the bottom of the ocean with, like a radar.
Well,
We
we do have a
have that.
hobbit.
It's called Kellyan. She senses shadows.
That's true.
Right, yeah.
Just stick me to the bottom of that submarine and wait, hold on.
Right.
She's gesturing wildly. What does that mean again? It's
Why
either
is it
evil or
her
drowning. I don't remember.
It
Right.
means she's either found the one ring or she's drowning. One of the two.
Or she's a witch. Who knows?
Or she's
Or
a witch.
she's a witch.
Just give her a few minutes. She'll calm down.
she should also float.
Is that too morbid?
Yep.
Okay, so ring rates.
Okay.
Do ring rates float?
And ring rates vote.
Maybe we could just burn them.
Note for later that you have kind of some knowledge and background of the histories of the individual ring race for later lore purposes. I'm excited to give you
Why would
that.
that ever be important to know?
It's okay. I have never
For-
used all 9 Nazgul in a campaign.
Is that
Yet.
challenge?
I mean, actively.
Let's
we know you, Greg.
Life
let's
goals.
keep it that way.
My favorites
we
are
can
5
take
and
'em.
7, if that's relevant.
Because they're the weakest, right?
The weakest.
Well, this goes back to
Yeah,
my
they're-
Rollmaster days. Because in the Rollmaster stats, the one Nazgul that can actually take out a high-level party by himself is number 5. He's actually more dangerous in a lot of ways than the Witch King. So I always loved to use him a lot. The Eyeless Mage, he was called.
Oh
Loved
my
him. I'm sure I won't be translating
Foreshadow?
him to 5th edition at all.
Yeah, of course you will, because you're Greg.
Will? I bet he already has.
So this conversation is going to be relevant again in about 5 minutes, but we'll stop for now. Is there anything
Okay.
else you might want to learn about Nazgul that you've not already learned?
Not a yellow.
Weaknesses. Physical weaknesses.
Oh.
It's obviously the spellbinding thing, but
Well,
actually fighting them.
yeah, I should probably talk about the obvious ones. I mean, they don't like the sunlight, and they're not going to be as out there because they are creatures of darkness. So sunlight's a thing. They also don't like running water or crossing it. In general, the water has the spirit of Olmo in it, which repels them. In fact, in general, the power of the Valar, Olmo, he's the water Valar,
He's a small red muppet.
not Elmo, Olmo, the buff underwater Triton-wearing cousin of Elmo.
I feel like we're talking about the same thing.
Yeah, okay.
I don't think so, but all right.
In general, the power of the Valar is going to be very effective against them because it's the power of life and of the West. And that's true against all undead, I will add, or all of the wraiths that you're likely to encounter, with maybe the small asterisk that these Avari spirits might be different because they've never gone to the West at all, and they seem to be different. But certainly against fighting Nazgul or those types of wraiths, any power that you can get from the Valar, even just their names, can be of some benefit. So that's a thing. I guess if you're using that same logic, they might not like birds either. But
Elmo compels you.
because birds are
Radagast, I need to borrow a bird.
so who knows? Birds are creatures of Manwë, of course, the head of the Valar. Okay, that sounds great. Gundyr,
It's me.
you are out one time when you see a couple of elves coming down into the valley carrying like a dead boar.
Oh, that's pretty good. Pretty good that they got a boar. I go congratulate them on their hunt.
As you approach, they set the boar down, but they've got big smiles on their faces as they walk up to you. You're of the North people.
I am of the North people.
That's excellent. Some of your kinsfolk came by not too long ago. I assume that you are also a messenger of Ursa, since you are staying in our father's house.
Well, not to brag, but Ursa is my mom.
Ah, well, not to brag, but Elrond's our father. They laugh. They do look a lot alike, by the way.
Well, good for you guys. I mean, I'm a little bit more proud because my mom's a bear and your dad's a nerd, but you know.
Oh, where's that
Somewhere-
charisma
Wow,
score?
throwing some shade.
Somewhere in the distance, Nestriel gasps.
Does this count as a shadow point? Because so much shade is being thrown here.
But Tish.
Boo.
I feel like no. They actually chuckle a little bit at that. Well, some of us like the books and some of us like the wilds. We do our best to get out as much as possible.
Good for you. Good for bettering yourselves. Want
to help bring the boar in? We're gonna cook it tonight.
Absolutely. I'm so down for that.
Hey, so how much do you North barbarians know about like our hillmen here?
Oh, we don't know a lot about Elrond or the Hillmen here, but I know a lot about listening to the power of nature and hearing the echoes of Yavanna.
Yeah, it's kind of a mess out there. They are kind of leaderless and wandering around, and they've been destroyed. So I don't know if any of them will migrate your way or not, but they seem a little less refined than you.
Well, that's bound to happen. Not everybody had Urza's crash course of etiquette.
Do you say crash or crass?
Crash course.
That's my new YouTube channel, Crash Course. It's
yes.
It's a way to learn things.
I learned what I needed to know.
Okay. With that, you head in, and the Eladan and Erohir's arrival is time for another get together to kind of learn what has come. Generally, you all just kind of learn the news that they have brought. I guess we'll do the get together in a second. They have brought a lot of news about the North. In particular, they bring the news that the Kingdom of the North, the army is being led by another Nazgul, but not the Witch King, one that has a crown of ice and a dark sword of black glass. That sounds really familiar.
Yep.
And that Nazgul is leading a group of spirits of the dead. he thinks you knew. They actually went close enough to see it and have come back
Oh,
at high
Jesus.
speed. So they have some details and they're giving them. Nestriel, right away you connect that with Hormarath of Dur. I believe he's the third Nazgul. Anyways, he's from the north originally, so maybe he's an Ice King. Who knows? Since you learned a lot about those things, and that it's headed towards Fornost.
Shit.
Well, that's the appropriate transition into the group gets together before they have their final conversation with Elrond about what they're doing. So let's do that.
Is there any way to destroy one of those creatures?
We can destroy its physical body, but it'll just reform like the other undead. It'll take them longer because it drains more magic, and the bond is probably very strong.
Yeah, but how do you kill him? Like, no normal means can.
Yeah.
Killing him. We can. So just to destroy his material body, we need. We're gonna need help. I don't suppose any of you know how to get the power of the Valar by any chance.
Oh yeah, here, let me just check my
not
notes.
off the top of my head.
Yes. Other than that, we can try and the two most feasible methods that I can come up with on short notice is we trap him in a box that he cannot escape from. Well, his spirit at least cannot escape from.
Yep.
Barring him having the box, the one with the black speech on it.
Mhm.
It'll trap his spirit magic just as well as it would trap my own, which is a terrifying prospect, and I'm not particularly on board, except that he's a ring wraith, and that's extra bad. The other option is to keep him outside long enough for the sun to rise, and that will hurt him immensely. I don't suppose you know of any fast-running rivers up north that we might be able to use against him?
Up north?
Yes.
I mean, there's plenty of rivers, but...
So they don't like sunlight, they don't like running water. We can trap him in the box, but the only way to do real damage to him is one of those things, or the power of the Valar, which I don't think any of us have.
So, trapping him in a box, does that just put like a stick of food in there and you'll get him in?
I have no idea what would attract a ring wraith. Presumably...
Gundyr will tackle him into the box, of course.
Yeah.
No, because then Gundyr would be stuck in there.
No. We'll shove him into the box.
I mean, I'm willing to make that sacrifice.
Gundyr, we're not sacrificing anyone. Thank you very much. Now,
we might
well,
have
the thing
to.
is, we're going east, and these guys are north, which means, is there a way that we can give the box up north for the right people to, I don't know, have them figure it out?
Are we still going east? Is that still our plan?
is that what you still want to do? Looking directly at Kellyan.
The bigger picture is what matters most. If we get rid of these pieces, then it will be best in the long run. Short run, hell yeah, I want to go north. But that's not going to do much of any good.
I don't know if we have the power to take on one of these wraiths.
The benefit of going north, in addition to potentially stopping the army, would be getting that blade. We know it's important. I believe Galadriel mentioned it having some significance towards what's happening to the deceased Avari.
Steal it.
So we might be able to take it if we go up north.
We don't have to fight him, right?
Uh-huh.
But if we
one
go
strategy.
If we go east to Mirkwood and speak with Thranduil with the Avari, we stand to gain knowledge and hopefully nearby allies. I don't know if we'd be able to persuade him to help the North, but I know the elves, at least the ones better at combat than I have, can summon light, and that may be close to the Valar's light enough to help.
As long as you can convince them to go against their ruler's wish, which doesn't seem to be historically probable.
No, but I went against his wish, and I am here and I am helping. If that is a sign to our people, then I believe I can sway them. I will need your help.
You always have it.
You have my plate.
Whatever it is that we decide to do, I'll do it. And I look at everybody around the table. What say you?
Well, I mean, you already heard.
Plate's already out.
You already heard Willid saying that you have his plate.
Willid, do you wish to go north or east, though?
Oh, I'm going wherever you guys are going.
Helpful.
Helpful.
My own people lie to the east. Perhaps a bit more southward than we
What if we like loop
are
around?
planning to go.
You know,
What if we loop around?
it's pretty far north, right? Go up and around.
I mean, an army of the undead led by a ringwraith should concern all peoples of Middle-earth, not just those that dwell in the north. If we stopped by each of the kingdoms on our way to Mirkwood, we might be able to muster up enough assistance that the north will stand a good fighting chance against them.
That's fair.
I'll have to...
I mean, if we go east, I can at least, maybe I can talk to Ursa face to face.
In the meantime, though, what are we going to do with the box? Because we only have probably a few chances, maybe only one, to be honest, against this race.
Mm-hmm.
If we make a loop, we should be able to make it to the north, hopefully in time to use the box. As much as I trust our allies, we are the only ones that have seen it do what it does to someone who had a spirit trapped.
It's true.
So we'll have enough time to get there. All right.
We'll do what we can to make sure that there's time. We have all made connections so far on this journey that can be used. Alrid, you will likely need to reach out to Galadriel regarding assistance for the North in some capacity. I'm sure she'll see the threat as valid. I also have...
I can try.
I'm going to make a few scrolls that I would like to send with both you and Gundyr. If you would like to send a message ahead to Ursa, that would also be helpful.
So just one clarification, things you'll learn. The army is already marching on Fornost. So unless you take somewhat of a direct route that direction, you would not get to the army before it at least hit the main city of Arthedain.
If we give them enough warning, do they have a place to evacuate to? Or are they kind of trapped there?
I mean, the Shire.
That's a very good defensible place.
Fall
so
back
I'm
to
told.
the Shire, Jesus.
I mean, the short
Well, they
answer is Fornost, where they've already fallen back to, right? Numinos has been destroyed. They fell back to Fornost. So
We need to go.
maybe Weathertop. There's a keep there still.
This is my selfishness, just like really taking a forward
Your selfishness
approach.
to go save your people. Yeah, how being so selfish over there.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Fornost is
We
a big fortification. I mean, it's the sort of place you would want to fight somebody. I mean, they're prepared for it.
We need to do this. Oh, I
we-
need to do this.
Then we go to Fornost.
Let's
I
do
don't
it.
disagree.
Can we bring some elves?
We have people we can reach out to. Let's see what Elrond says regarding allies and what aid they can send against a ring wraith. He is our biggest concern.
No.
At least it means to transport that box.
especially that.
Okay, so the plan is that you're going to take the box, as many elves as you can possibly talk into coming with you from Rivendell, and whatever else aid Elrond offers, and then head to Fornost with all haste.
Yes.
Okay. It'll be a homecoming for Kellyan.
Sure.
Sounds like we're going deep into your backstory very soon.
Well,
Well, we've got a couple of backstories that direction.
it's true.
Wait a minute, what?
True.
That second son of the king. Anyways, we'll get.
We'll get to that.
Wait, what? Oh, that's right. I
mean,
yeah,
if you were to take the roads, which you almost certainly will if you're bringing a box along, you're going to have to go through Bree. You basically take the road to Bree and then turn north and go up to Fornost.
Right.
Right.
So that's that's
Yeah.
actually one of probably the easiest journeys you guys have had, because it's going to be all relatively well-traveled roads at this point.
Mm-hmm.
Even at this stage, the road by Rivendell is way more well-traveled than it was during Bilbo's days. So there's even going to be inns on the way. So it's a pretty
Yeah, I did this road once, twice, like 3, 4. I've done this road before.
see. So that's like, as far as difficult journeys goes, not on the list. That's the good news, I guess. The bad news is war is coming, and who knows all of that as you go that direction. So yeah, that sounds good. I guess the last part then is to meet with Elrond and try and convince him to send a bunch of elves.
Yep.
Okay, this sounds like a really difficult traditions roll to me.
Well, really difficult, huh?
Okay,
I'm your man.
like 25 is Elf Lord.
Jesus.
That's
All right.
probably Eladan and Elro here, to be honest.
I look over at Nestriel. If there's anybody who I believe can do this, it is you. D6.
Thanks, I'm gonna need that. I will spend an inspiration to get advantage on this.
Oh, yeah.
Hey,
Rolls that matter.
Rolls that matter. All right. Would it affect the DC if I brought up at all the research that I'm doing into the ring rates and the whole, if they can come back, maybe Sauron can? Or is that...
You pretty much assume anything in there is stuff Elrond already knows. He's known as a lore master, and it's his library.
That is very fair. Fair enough.
You could potentially
Sure.
reference it as part of your conversation, but yeah.
Likely do that. All right. Oh yeah, rolls that matter. For anybody that can't see, that's a natural 20 and
Yeah.
a natural 1. So thank God for advantage. That could have been really bad.
yeah,
You didn't need my D6. You got it all the time.
Oh yeah,
it helps.
D6.
I knew it.
Do that. All right.
Okay,
No,
well,
no.
Total
You can
bad.
save it for later, too.
we are where we are. Natural 20 is Glorfindel.
Whew.
So after that conversation, Elrond talks about how he has an elf lord that has been tasked with defense of the valley, and a great lord from the past who feels that, given the resurgence of the darkness, that it is best that he sees firsthand what is transpiring in the north, and is going to travel with you. In addition, both Eladan and Elwer here will be going that direction on another scouting expedition, and they'll be traveling with you for a ways at least. And hopefully will be available if needed, if the darkness comes, kind of thing.
Heck yeah.
What was
Hey,
the
who's-
name of the
who's-
elf commander?
Glorfindel.
Glorfindel.
Glorf.
Who's playing Argilev? I can't remember. Is it
Torin.
Torin. You're welcome.
I gotta check Glorfindel's level briefly. Oh, okay, yeah, that's what I thought.
Oh, okay.
Good job, team.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
if
team.
there's a paladin in the house, it's Glorfindel.
Yes! We're gonna be such good friends.
Not saying he's a paladin, but he has killed a Balrog, right?
I will probably annoy the shit out of him if we travel with him with questions about his history and the legends about him.
Yeah, a
Just
lot of people say
fangirl.
that I died, but I didn't. That, by the way, is a Tolkien in joke, so you do your thing. So, okay. Yeah, and I think we are right about that time. Yes. That went faster than I thought. Good role playing for everybody as you prepare. Before we go, though, I do want to give you any, like, if there's any last conversations you want to have in Rivendell, anything? Telling off Elrond, making a pass at Arwen. They all do it. No, they don't. Never mind.
So I would
unless
like to
there's-
make a pet. No, I'm just kidding.
Well, I mean,
Go flirt with his daughter. Just, making
Whoa.
friends.
I was gonna take that heirloom virtue while here.
yes. What did you take? Which
Don't.
heirloom?
I don't know what's available.
Oh, I thought you did. We have a pretty sure it's a spear and a helmet, mostly.
Is the Dunedain guy gonna come with us?
Would you like him to?
Yeah, I think he will. I mean, unless you don't want him to. I mean, you could probably sneak up without him.
No, we need. I mean, he needs to go back to his people.
Does he? Does he, Kellyanne?
Yes. Yes, he does.
Well, it's okay. On the day you're setting out, he does come up and go, "Oh, I see another Dunedain is headed this way."
Oh, fudge. Oh, this is gonna be great.
He seems
Perfect.
excited about it.
I'm excited about it.
I don't think we've met. What's your name again?
Arian.
Nice to meet you, Arian.
Yeah.
I
Okay,
walk
it's
off.
here. You've got Ancient Mail of Gondor, Glinting Spear, or Horse-tailed Helm.
Oh,
Already.
I see. I think a helm sounds real cool.
Okay. Get yourself a Horse-tailed Helm, which adds 1 to your armor class. And makes you immune to frightened.
That seems useful.
That's about to be very useful.
Seems
I'm not saying that Nazgul frighten people, but they're frightening.
I believe you.
I'm
already afraid.
The same thing.
It's gonna be okay though.
Yep, I'm taking the helm.
Oh, I guess since we're still here, I was doing that check to see, if you had enough party experience yet to take on a Nazgul. Let's see here. Only halfway there. Okay, good.
Well, too bad, because we're going for it.
On the bright side, we're not gonna take on a Nazgul. We're just gonna steal something from a Nazgul. Totally two different things.
Absolutely.
Whatever.
What could go wrong?
That's totally the plan.
Yep.
If you're okay with the fact that 2 or 3 of you die, you can punch way above your encounter level. Trust me.
Okay.
Resurrection's a thing in this world, right?
We're not dying.
Did I hear you say binding someone's soul to the world as an endless wraith is a thing in this world? Yeah, it is.
Right. Right. Yep.
Okay. Well, that's it for our evening. We'll start off on our journey to Bree, or Fornos probably. We'll probably go all the way in one next time around, which is like pleasant journey in the forest with a caravan of that's hiding a dark black evil thing, but it'll be a piece of cake compared to what you've done. I mean, traveling around with Glorfindel will also probably reduce the danger of any encounters. So don't worry about getting mugged in Bree.
think we'll
Like
be
I know
okay.
you were.
Oh, I was very worried. Yep.
Terrified.
Yeah. Who's the elf lord with you?
Oh,
Okay,
God.
let's do a favorite things from the session real quick.
Oh man, this is getting hard.
I know.
We'll start with Nestriel, work our way to Kellyan. That seems like the right this way around. Nestriel.
Fantastic. I think Kellyan and I had a really good, very dangerously emotional heart-to-heart in this session, and I liked it a lot. Runner-up is the fact that we have now dodged going to Mirkwood for the 4th time that someone's told us we should go to Mirkwood and talk to Thranduil.
I briefly thought it was going to happen.
So did I. I was very concerned, but we're fine.
This was the first I really think it might actually happen time. Okay. Gundyr. You're on mute, Rob.
There we go. Yeah, I mostly enjoyed the conversation between Nestriel and Killian. That was really great. I also enjoyed how Nestriel offhandedly was like, not a lot of people like outsiders, especially Thranduil. And I was like, she's talking about me, guys.
We have it on.
Like me.
It's specifically official that Thranduil hates you, just so you know. That's
Right.
canon.
Yeah, that's canon.
I mean, we all knew it
Perfect.
anyways, but there we are.
Right.
Can't wait for that Thranduil conversation.
Right, because that Thranduil conversation will happen at some point.
I'm
Well,
assuming
really
you're all
be a
15th
conversation.
level before then, though. So, right, you can take him.
Right, yeah. Once I'm 15th level, I'll be able to take Thranduil. That's the
Or at least hold out long enough to feel like you have a chance.
Just
right.
don't,
Exactly.
just don't do it where he's got lair actions. Trust me.
Yeah. No.
Oh.
Yeah. I'll
So
tell
not in Mirkwood? How do we get him not in Mirkwood?
Good
I
question.
Well, there
hate
needs to be
you.
more.
Maybe if I just really insult him, he'll leave Mirkwood.
Okay, Willid.
I think I gotta go with the plate. Take that one.
It was your shining moment.
Yes, it was.
I mean, the plate was
A lot of fun.
shining, you were shining.
or rather, the concept of plate, the metaphor for plates in this game world, in this game, being supportive of the food and nutrients and the emotional health that we need. The broccoli is our friends like Gundyr, and
You're
When I'm-
broccoli.
and the carrots are like Alred, and the
Why
Long
am I
and
a
pointy.
carrot?
What about
uh,
the broccoli?
the linguine is like Nestriel,
That's not a thing.
and
I'll have you know, I am the meat and potatoes.
oh,
This
right.
is starting
I don't know.
to be like a very
I
strange
think you're
dish.
broccoli.
I think
Yep.
you're broccoli.
I mean, broccoli is delicious.
That was
Okay.
fun.
What
Okay.
does that make you, like the cabbage?
Will is definitely cabbage.
I'm
The
the
cabbage.
I'm the mini wiener dogs things. What are those called?
Little Smokies.
Little Smokies.
Little smokies on it.
Yeah.
These are little
Nice.
smoky.
I know they don't. Whatever the Lord of the Rings equivalent of those is. Tiny sausages.
Okay. Allred?
Oh yeah, I think being named champion of Lorien, that's pretty dope.
Yeah.
Like, how do you go wrong with that? Though it feels like a really big burden.
I've got some ideas about how that could go wrong, but I'm just the GM, so it's okay.
Oh
Although,
boy.
although I think that you should worry more about Gladriel than me. I'll just be honest on that.
Ha, 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 ooh.
Yeah, I was
have-
excited to do that. It was fun.
I like that shovel talk. That was pretty awesome.
You have now had two incredibly powerful and old elves be like, I'm not going to tell you no, but don't make babies. Okay, thanks. Bye.
Right.
But what if there was a baby like that? Like, he wouldn't exist if it wasn't for guys like me.
Right. Yeah. No.
Yeah.
Don't let your
In fact,
dreams all red.
there might be a moral imperative that elves should have babies with men because it gives them moral agency to choose their own destiny.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
Way to go.
So I
So
need to make as many
focus
half-elf
late.
babies as I
If
can.
you withhold that choice from somebody purposefully, you might be doing something wrong.
But what happens
Elves
when
are
the people
immoral.
that
Yes.
chooses immortality happens to be someone bad, like Sauron, and then we've created an unkillable ancient evil.
Oh, right, because there aren't already those things in this world.
Right.
Just not more of them, please.
That's true.
I mean-
I mean, there's
asking
Thranduil.
you
He gets to
to
be an immoral.
think about his side of the argument.
He's not an ancient evil, though. He's just a reclusive dickhead.
Isn't he?
That's
Respect.
ancient and maybe evil.
But he's not evil. God,
Okay.
I know we like to shit on him, but he is
Evil
kind of
adjacent.
important to me.
Evil adjacent.
I mean, I think you've got a good argument to make that he's not evil, but I think there's a good argument to make that he's like not good either.
Right.
So there you are.
True.
Those
neutral.
darn neutral elves.
Yep.
Okay, my favorite thing for this session, since I'll do one, was that when I had Elrond ask you questions, my plan was to have him to answer "I don't know" to all of them. So I ended each one in "I don't know," but you only asked like 2 or 3, but it was still fun.
Right.
Thanks, Elrond.
It's very elvish. I'm doing my best. Okay. Well, we're on next week. We'll see you then. Have a great Martin Luther King Jr. Day weekend,
Right.
and whatever happens after that week. So we'll see everyone then.
Bye.
Bye.
Bye.